Okay, we are on Baba Metzia, Perek Dalid, Mishnah Aleph. First Mishnah in the fourth chapter of Masechet Baba Metzia. The halachot that we're going to learn in this Mishnah and the next Mishnah, Mishnah Aleph and Bet are connected, and they're somewhat complicated. So I'm going to try to explain it in the most clear possible way that I can. The first thing you have to understand is something called kinyanim. Okay, there's a kinyan. In order for something to become mine, let's say I buy something from someone. I buy tissues from my friend. So the Torah says that one way for me to acquire it is called meshicha. Meshicha, I pull it of an animal, hagba, I lift it up. I bought a book from the bookstore, I pick up the book, it's now mine. And therefore, if I walk outside and then some guy bumps into me and it falls and it gets all dirty and disgusting, it's mine, I lost it, what can you do? Whereas if it's on the counter and coffee spills on the thing, it's not mine. I didn't, it's the store's, and that's their problem. Now, what happens if I'm at the store and I want to pay for it? Okay, so this guy's got his laptop. I'm buying the laptop at the store. So I pay him, I gotta move that forward. I pay him the money for the laptop. And then all of a sudden, what happens? Coffee spills on the laptop is destroyed. Okay, that's terrible. Who loses the laptop? Okay, is there such a thing as is that laptop mine? So it's important to know that there is such a thing called kinyan chalipin. Okay, kinyan chalipin means an exchange. Well, let's just start from the Mishnah. We'll start from the end of the Mishnah. Zeh hakla. I'm going to read it. We're going to go back and read it again. But this is the rule. Kol mitaltalin konim zeh et zeh. The chalipin, when you can exchange, if one person acquires something that's mitaltalin, property, okay, the other person also acquires property. So let's say I'm not buying the laptop with money, but I'm buying the laptop with corn. I'm buying a laptop with corn. Okay, so I'm exchanging my corn, okay, for the laptop. That's what people did throughout most of history. They didn't pay with money. There was no money. They didn't have they had money, but there wasn't a solid system. So most people paid with items. So as soon as the Kinyan Chalipin says, as soon as the seller acquires the laptop, that laptop belongs to me. Okay? That's Kinyan Chalipin. That's an exchange. And that's what the Mishnah means when it says, Kol mitaltalin konim zeh et zeh. All metaltalin will acquire one to the other. Im hechlif elu ba'ilu. Okay? If you exchange one to the other, kevan shemashacha echad kana chavero. Once one person is moshech, acquires, okay, then he's acquiring the other thing, okay, the other person acquires even without doing anything. As soon as he acquires the corn, as soon as he picks up the corn, as soon as he takes one item, this laptop belongs to this guy, and if the laptop is destroyed, okay, what can you do? It's his loss. That's kinyan chalipin. So, but what happens if you do it to money? What happens if instead of giving him items, I give him money? And that was, they paid money, there was money, so that was the normal way, that's a normal way of paying for something. So the halacha is that ma'ot einan konot. Okay? The halacha, everybody agrees that Dvar Torah, that ma'ot einam konot. Let's look at the start of the Mishnah. Says the Mishnah, okay? Hazahav koneh et hakesef, v'hakesef eino koneh et zahav. Kesef is silver, zahav is gold. Okay? I'll read it and I'll explain. If one guy is acquiring gold and the other is silver, the person who picks up zahav acquires the kesef. But if a person picks up kesef, eino koneh et zahav. You can do chalipin if the person who picks up zahav, then he acquires the money. But if a person who picks up money, eino koneh et zahav. Let's look at Bar Tunura. Okay? Kol davar shu chashuv liot matbea v'charif linatein b'hotza. Anything is considered a matbea, a coin, money, matbea. If something is considered money, and v'charif litan b'hotza, it's used to pay bills, din ma'ot yeshlo. He has ma'ot. Ve'eino koneh et shekenegdo. Ma'ot is not koneh et shekenegdo. It does not acquire that which is corresponding to it. She'eino chashuv matbea. Ve'eino charif b'hotza kemoto. We're going to learn, I'm going to actually leave this part, the machloket I wanted to do with him, and in the next Mishnah. But the halacha is, and everybody agrees in this case, that for kinyan chalipin, we're going to see, it's a machloket about why. Ma'ot einan konot. Okay? Money is not acquired for a chalipin. We're going to see why in the next Mishnah, why that is. So when he pays him the money, the laptop still belongs to the seller until he actually makes a kinyan on the laptop. Okay? If he just pays money, meaning because what they would do, we're going to talk about it, they had a storehouse. So I pay you the money, and then the stuff is in your storehouse, your warehouse. And we're going to see what that means. Okay? Meaning, is the money, the corn still belongs, the item still belongs to the seller until the buyer makes an actual kinyan. Ma'ot einam konot. That's not enough. So in our case, we're not talking about, we don't have corn, we don't have laptops, we have silver and gold. The guy's buying, exchanging money. So the Mishnah is asking itself, which in our case of this silver and gold, which is the kesef and which is the metaltalin? Or are both of them kesef? So says the Mishnah, in our case, hazahav konet kesef, vis-a-vis kesef, vis-a-vis silver, gold is considered metaltalin. And therefore, if I acquire, the person who picks up, does a kinyan on the kesef, on the zahav, on the gold, he can get the kesef. The other guy acquires the money. But if a person who picks up the money, if one guy picks up money, eina konet zahav. You don't do chalipin, okay? Meaning, if he gets, let's say we have gold on the floor here. And I say, here, I'm going to pay you for the gold. He takes the money. The gold still belongs to the seller. On the other hand, if the money's on the floor and the buyer takes the gold, the seller owns the money. He automatically owns the money. And obviously the difference between these two things is what happens if the gold is somewhere else, what happens if the money is somewhere else and it becomes damaged. Who loses? That's the case in this case. Similarly, anachoshet koneh et kesef. Vis-a-vis kesef, silver was considered money. It was considered expendable. People bartered it much more than gold or nechoshet or copper. So therefore, if one per guy acquires nechoshet, koneh et kesef. The other one requires kesef in chalipin. Again, and kesef, if the guy acquires the kesef, if the seller picks up the money, the kesef, the buyer does not acquire the nechoshet. Ma'ot ha'ra'ot konot et hayafot. Let's say I have good coins and bad coins. Good coins, but they had coins they rubbed out all the time. So the good coins had a form on it, had a shape on it, if you can see. The good coins had a shape. The bad coins had value as a commodity, but it wasn't value as a coin. So therefore, ma'ot ra'ot, if you pick up bad coins, they're an item, they're metaltalin, they're not money. And therefore, the person who acquires them, konot et hayafot, they get the good coins because they acquired. That means that the other guy gets the money. But the hayafot, if the seller picks up good coins, usable coins, money, einan konot et ra'ot. Similarly, okay, then the buyer has not yet made a kinyan on the ra'ot through chalipin. Again, asimonim koneh et matbeya. What's an asimon? An asimon is shenasa b'midat matbeya. It's a pre-coin. Something was made in the shape of a coin. Aladayin lo tivu alav tzura. It was not stamped with the shape. We don't have those nowadays, but they would have pre-coins, and then the government or whoever would stamp on the shape. So if a person is a buyer, acquires the asimon, the seller is koneh et matbeya. But if the seller hamatbeya, if the seller kicks a coin, eino koneh et asimon. The buyer has not yet acquired the asimon. Metaltalin koneh et matbeya. If you pick up metaltalin, a book, tissues, right? If the buyer picks up metaltalin, then the seller acquires the money. But if the seller acquires the coins, eino koneh et metaltalin. He doesn't acquire metaltalin because ma'ot einam kono. Because that's exactly the rule that we learned, that money is doesn't acquire. We'll see in the next Mishnah why. Ze'aklal, this is the rule. Kol metaltalin konim ze'et. Now we come to the last thing that we started with. In metaltalin, if it's actual goods and you're bartering, one person acquires the metaltalin, the buyer acquires the other guy, the seller metaltalin, the seller automatically acquires the metaltalin, the movable property of the buyer. I hope I explained it as well as I could. I did pretty well, I think I explained it. It's a complicated Mishnah, difficult to understand. If you have comments or questions, email me at artsporter@gmail.com. You can see all these Mishnah at Mishnah Metzia, and we'll dedicate our learning to the memory of my father, Harab Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a great day.